This is a video on my Bosche 30-inch smooth surface induction electric cooktop. Okay, the problem I have here is I just woke up in the morning, decided I was going to have breakfast. I looked at it, pressed my on button, and all of a sudden I see the child lock key is on. Now I've seen that happen before. I may have accidentally brushed up against it or something like that, or put something on top of it and it comes on. You just hold it, the on-off button for 5 seconds and it'll turn the child lock off immediately. Unfortunately this time it didn't do that. And I kept pressing and pressing and pressing and holding 15, 20, 30 seconds, and still the child lock switch wouldn't come off. It's indicated by like a little key, LED key that's sitting on the surface. All right, so of course I go to my favorite source of information, YouTube, and found little to nothing on it other than the standard reset by holding on to it for 5 seconds, which already doesn't work. A few people on some of the forums say, oh, all you have to do is disconnect the power supply, turn the circuit breaker off for 5 seconds or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it'll reset itself. Which I tried that. I didn't have to turn off the circuit breaker because I actually have a plug underneath the sink that I plug it in. It's a 220. Unplugged it for 5 minutes, plugged it back in, the same exact situation. Child safety switch wouldn't come off. Go back to the forums once again. Let me put this thing down here. Now the forums people say, okay, sometimes you have to put your whole hand on top of a big surface of it, you know, because maybe you're not hitting the switch properly. It might get finicky. I've done that. I put my hands all over the place. Nothing. Go back to the forums once again, and it says, okay, I put a wet paper towel across the top, and then it started to work. So I tried that. I put a wet paper towel across a good surface on the front, and it didn't work, but it gave me some hope, because what happened is I got that error message like you'd get when you get a spillover on top. And so now I knew that it actually beeped, because it wasn't even beeping before. So I said, okay, it's just a matter of getting that switch off. That's the problem. So now I called Bosche to see if I can get some help from them. And of course, they just went straight to the manual and went over the same stuff that I've done over and over and over again. So they recommended, okay, you can either try just disconnecting your power and let it stay for a longer period of time, an hour, 2 hours, overnight, and then see if that works. If not, you can contact our technical support. For a technician to come out, they would charge $129 just to come out, just to show up at my door, and then another $30 every 15 minutes that they're here. And you know, that's crazy and totally unacceptable. No in the world. I mean, who has money to pay that? Who has that kind of money to pay? So anyway, so I said, okay, I guess that's what I'm gonna have to do. So meanwhile, after I unplugged it, and I was planning on spending the next day with it unplugged, I went back on the forums again, and then another guy says, oh, I put my whole forearm across the front of the control panel, and that worked, you know. So I said, hey, what the hell? I was planning on keeping it unplugged overnight, so plugging it back in and giving the forearm a shot, what the hell, might work. So that's what I did. I plugged it back in, rolled up my sleeves, and I put my whole forearm across the front panel there. So at first, I got the error signal once again because I was, I guess, making too much connection, like a spillover. So then what I did was I put my whole forearm directly over the on-off area and not covering too many of the other burner switches. And lo and behold, it actually worked. So I didn't see any videos on YouTube about this, so I definitely want to give that option to some people, to give that a shot. It may work for you. Definitely much better than calling out a technician, having them end up charging you $200-300 what is $120 per hour of fee plus $129 just to show up, not to mention any parts that he may have to put in, if he doesn't have to order parts and then come back for another visit. So This might work. I've seen online people saying it worked with the GE, so it might work with several different units. So that's something good for you to try before you spend a fortune getting a technician out. Hope that helps someone.